Hey everyone, welcome back to Overtime Insights. The 2025 NHL trade deadline witnessed a flurry of strategic moves as teams positioned themselves for playoff contention or initiated rebuilding phases. We'll take a look at the most significant transactions, evaluating their immediate impacts and long-term implications for the franchises involved. Let's take a look at these trades. To start out first with the Colorado Avalanche acquiring Brock Nelson from the New York Islanders. On March 6, the Colorado Avalanche secured center Brock Nelson and prospect William Dufour from the New York Islanders in exchange for defenseman Oliver Kylington, the top prospect Callum Ritchie, a conditional 2026 first-round pick, and a 2028 third-round pick. The Islanders retained 50% of Nelson's $6 million salary cap hit, facilitating Colorado's acquisition of a proven two-way forward with 3 30-goal seasons. Nelson's arrival addresses Colorado's long-standing need for secondary scoring behind Nathan MacKinnon. His postseason experience, 57 playoff games, and defensive reliability make him a critical addition for a team with Stanley Cup aspirations. However, the Avalanche risk significant future assets for a rental player, as Nelson is set to become an unrestricted free agent in July. For the Islanders, this trade signals a pivot toward rebuilding. By acquiring Ritchie, a 20-year-old center ranked among the NHL's top prospects, and additional draft capital, New York gains flexibility to rejuvenate its roster. Conversely, Colorado's aggressive stance underscores its win-now mentality, leveraging future assets to maximize its championship window. Let's move on to our next big trade. I really didn't think this was going to happen. Florida Panthers acquired Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins. In one of the deadline's most surprising deals, the Florida Panthers acquired veteran winger Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins on March 7th. The return included a conditional 2027 second-round pick, which could become a first-rounder, and prospect Nikita Grimbekin. Marchand, a 36-year-old pending free agent, brings 55 points, 21 goals, 34 assists, and unparalleled playoff grit to a Panthers team that's already featuring Matthew Tkachuk, who's out for the regular season but could make his way back during the postseason, and Aaron Ekblad. Marchand's leadership and clutch performance history, evidenced by his 128 playoff points, complement Florida's physical style, while his $6.125 million cap hit is a short-term burden. The Panthers' retention of Seth Jones' $7 million after Chicago's 36% retention demonstrates savvy cap management. Critics argue that Marchand's age possesses a risk, but his immediate fit alongside Tkachuk, once healthy, could prove transformative in the postseason. If you get Tkachuk healthy and Marchand on the same line, or just even the same team, it's going to be very physical, and Florida's going to be a very dangerous team in the playoffs, that's for sure. Now to our next, probably the biggest blockbuster deal of the day. I would have to say Dallas Stars securing Mikko Rantanen. Dallas Stars finalized an 8-year, $96 million extension with Mikko Rantanen on March 7, completing a trade with the Carolina Hurricanes. Rantanen, who had 55 goals in 2022-2023, struggled in Carolina, which is 2 goals in 13 games. Now, I just think it's Rantanen just not knowing where he's going to end up. He doesn't, it's hard to play somewhere where you don't know where your future is going to be. I think he was thinking long-term effects. He wants to know, hey, this is where I'm going to be for the next 8 years, and he wasn't feeling it with Carolina. And so now he's going to be joining a stacked Stars lineup featuring Wyatt Johnston, who I believe he signed a 5-year extension, I think around 8.9 AAV. Not 100% sure on that, but I think he did sign a 5-year extension, and Jason Robertson. Rantanen's $12 million AAV reflects Dallas' confidence in his resurgence. His elite shot volume and playmaking ability could elevate the Stars' power play, which ranks 12th league-wide. However, the long-term commitment carries risks given Rantanen's recent inconsistency. For Carolina, acquiring center Logan Stankoven and draft picks provides future flexibility, though losing a marquee scorer does weaken their current roster. He wasn't working out with Carolina, and I think it sucks that Carolina couldn't hang on to a player like him, but it didn't seem like he was going to sign a deal, which is probably why they traded him, because they got the feeling they weren't going to sign him after the season, and so they wanted to get something out of him, and they did good. They did good by it. They got multiple first-round picks and a good prospect out of it. So good for Carolina, but even better for Dallas getting a star talent like him. Up next, we'll talk about the Edmonton Oilers about adding some forward and defensive depth. On March 4th, the Oilers acquired center Trent Frederick, wing Max Jones, and prospect Peter Hauser in a 3-team deal involving the Boston Bruins and New Jersey Devils. Boston received defenseman Max Weiner, a 2025 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick, while the Devils retained salary and acquired prospect Shane LaChance. They acquired the rights. He's not officially signed, but they do have his rights. Frederick's physicality's got 135 hits and forechecking prowess addresses Edmonton's need for bottom six grit. And then later today, on the deadline day, Edmonton further fortified its blue line by acquiring defenseman Jake Wallman from the San Jose Sharks for a conditional 2026 first-round pick and forward Carl Berglund. Wallman, who tallied 32 points in 50 games for the Sharks, adds offensive upside to a defense corps anchored by Evan Bouchard. The conditional pick is top 12 protected in 2026, mitigates risk for the Oilers, who aim to balance immediate competitiveness with future planning. And finally, we're going to go through one of the biggest trades that happened this past week. We'll go with the Lightning reuniting with Yanni Gourde. The Lightning reacquired center Yanni Gourde and winger Olivier Bjorkstrand from the Seattle Kraken on March 5th, sending 2 first-round picks, 2025 and 2027, a 2026 second-round pick, and forward Mikey Eyssimont to Seattle. Gourde, a key member of Tampa's 2020 and 2021 Stanley Cup teams, brings defensive reliability. He's got a 54.3% face-off win rate and penalty-killing expertise. This trade should be no surprise with Tampa and their fan base. They're used to giving away their first-round picks in the past few years, but at least this time it's a lot better than giving it away for Tanner Jeannot, which that trade still blows my mind that they were willing to give away a first-round pick for him, who was a bottom 6 player at best. But now they're getting back one of their key guys, Yanni Gourde, who was very loved in Tampa, and Tampa Bay could not be more excited to bring him back. And then you add with Bjorkstrand, another great player, two-way versatility, and he's going to complement this team. And this is probably one of the deepest forward groups in the Eastern Conference. The 2025 deadline underscored a clear divide between contenders and rebuilders. Colorado and Dallas emerged as aggressive buyers, leveraging future assets for elite talent, while the Islanders and Bruins began retooling. Florida's acquisition of Marchand and Tampa's reunion with Gourde exemplified the Eastern Conference arms race, whereas Edmonton's balanced approach highlights the Western Conference depth-driven strategies. These trades will ultimately be judged by postseason performance, but the immediate winners appear to be the Avalanche, Stars, and Panthers, who address critical needs without sacrificing core competitiveness. Islanders and Hurricanes, they face pressure to convert their acquired prospects into foundational pieces. Now, in the trade deadline preview video I made earlier this week, I mentioned Winnipeg Jets were going to be buyers and getting these high-profile players, but I guess it just shows that they don't need these high-profile players with the team they have. They're already one of, if not the best team in hockey, and you don't want to mess up the lines because everything's already working. You don't want to ruin the chemistry, so I think it was right that they made some trades, but nothing huge, a huge impact on their roster that would have to shuffle the lines. So I think they made the right move in keeping their main core intact. That's going to be it for this video. Who do you think were the trade winners and losers? What other trades were you excited about? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time in Overtime.